Hi, it's me, Carrot Boo. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to talk about the progress I've made on my 2024 temperature blanket. Now, my temperature blanket, I was going to say this year, but actually I've never done a temperature blanket. So my temperature blanket is, it's pretty much for the whole year of 2024. So I'm really doing it for the first year of baby Carrot's life. So she was born at the beginning of January. So it's almost the entire year, but like except for a few days. She was born on the 4th. So I'm gonna do it from the 4th to the 4th, and yeah. So the question is, have I kept up with that blanket? No. I'm gonna show you the progress that I have made, and I'm gonna talk to you about the blanket itself, the pattern I'm using, the colors I'm using, and the progress I've made so far, and the plan I have moving forward, because I do really want to finish this blanket for my baby Carrot. Okay, so I'm not doing the typical temperature blanket where you just go row by row. I'm doing a square for each month. So I have finished January, February, and March. As of right now, it is May 12th. So I am about a month and a half behind. And yeah. So I did March, all of March in one day. I did not sew in the ends, but I did all of March in one day because Nona had baby Carrot. So I was able to just knock that out. And I think I might have to do that if I can. If I do have another opportunity like that, I would like to just bang out all of April again in one day, get it done, and then try to get back on track. So the pattern that I am using is a pattern, it's called the Doodad. It's from Hooked on Sunshine. I believe the patterns are only on their website, so it's hookedonsunshine.com. And what's really great, actually, I love Hooked on Sunshine because if you are great at reading patterns, great, there's written patterns, but they're also, I'm not sure if it's for every single pattern, but for at least a good majority of them, there's also video tutorials, because some people just, that's how they follow patterns better. And I know for me, when I was a beginner especially, that's all, I could not follow a written pattern, so it's really helpful. I'll show you. So I'm using the center square from the Doodad pattern, and this is January. February, and March. March has no ends sewn in, as I said. So is it really done? I guess not, but it's close. And, I really love this pattern. That's why I chose it. I knew I liked it because I've done it before. I think it's super pretty and intricate. I'm always dropping stuff. What I love about her patterns is they look really intricate, and like there's a lot going on. And I guess there is, but they're really easy. It's just super simple to follow the written pattern or the videos. So if you've ever seen something like this and it's intimidating to you in any way, I highly recommend checking her out for any of her patterns. I've also made the whatchamacallit, and yeah, really nice patterns. Let's talk about the yarn and the colors that I'm using. I am using Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday DK, and I chose that yarn because it's really great for, and any anti-pilling is going to be great for a blanket, right? Because you can use it and wash it and wash it. It's not going to pill up on you. It's really soft. And I also wanted, so there's also an everyday anti-pilling everyday worsted, but I've seen online many people have chosen the wrong size yarn and come up with some pretty large blankets. Like, you don't anticipate how big a blanket of that many rows is going to be. If you, especially if I think a lot of folks don't do any kind of gauge swatching. And to be fair, I didn't either. I just had an idea of how big one of these squares might be, but I picked the DK weight so it would be a little bit smaller. And I think that these squares are coming out to be a really good size. I measured the squares and they're about 17 inches each. So that is going to be a little over 4 feet and by like 5.5 feet, something like that, without a border. So that'll probably add another couple inches. So I think that'll be a nice size blanket. Also, I'm going to go back to the pattern for a second. Obviously, there's going to, some months have 31 days in the month, and some months have 30, and then there's February, which this year was special. But what I'm doing to supplement that, so every square I do is going to have 31 rounds. And if it's going to be a month that only has 30 days, or in the case of February, 29 days, I'm going to supplement it with this cream color. And then each square is going to get a border of 2 rows, 1 row. I think it's 2 rows of half double crochet. So that way they're all the same size. And I'm also going to use that cream color to join them. So since we're talking about color, I'll tell you about that one first. Okay. So it's right here. And it is the color Linen. And before I move on to any other colors, I just put out there, I live in the Northeast of the United States. So we experience all the seasons and the temperature can range greatly. So I'm fortunate to have, I guess you can break it up however you want, no matter where you live. So for me, I'm breaking it up into 10-degree increments because, like I said, our temperatures can vary greatly, and that's a good amount of colors for me. You can divide your temperature blanket into 5-degree increments if you want. If you live somewhere where the temperature doesn't really change at all, if it's a really warm climate and it's always in the same 10-degree range, you could just do a color for every degree. It's really versatile. So if you live somewhere like that, don't feel discouraged from making a temperature blanket. But all that being said, I do live somewhere where we experience a range of temperatures. So I think I have 11 different colors going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, I have 11 color slots. 12 colors, including the linen. That's going to be the border. I might incorporate some color into the border, but this is going to definitely be the color I use to join all the squares at least. Okay, so the first color I have that is for if the temperature gets below 0. This blue. It's called Alaskan Blue. Now, I started my blanket in January and it never got below 0. Now, I hate the cold, so I am happy it never got below 0, but at the same time, I'm a little sad I didn't get to use this color. So I'm kind of hoping that it gets chilly in December. I don't really want it to get cold in December, but I want to use this color. So if I could get at least one day, that would be great. Something to note is that I am using the high temperature for every day. So some people like to use the low, some people use the high, some people will take the average. So I'm doing the high temperature, which is part of why I never got below 0. Although I don't think it ever, even if I did the low, I don't think that was ever below 0 this year either. And so now we have so I don't know if I broke this up differently than maybe other people would. This is just how I did it, how it made sense in my head. So that was from below 0 to 0. And now the next color slot I have would be from 1 degree to 10 degrees. And this color is called Blueberry. We have from 11 degrees to 20 degrees. This color is called Porcelain Blue. And then we have from 21 degrees to 30 degrees. And then this is a teal. And from 31 degrees to 40 degrees, we have Sea Glass. from 41 degrees to 50 degrees, we have green apple. So now we've got again to some of the warmer colors. So from now for 51 to 60 degrees, we have the color rose. And 61 degrees to 70 degrees, we have peach blossom. From 71 degrees to 80 degrees, we have the color carrot. From 81 degrees to 90 degrees, we have mustard. Then kind of like the cold, I really don't want it to be over 100 degrees. But if it gets over 100 degrees, I will happily use this color bright pink. And that is bright. Yeah. So those are all my colors. You know, some people really stress about the colors for their temperature blanket. They're like, how do you know it's going to go well together? But have you ever seen a temperature blanket that didn't look nice in the end? It can look a little weird at first. Maybe you're like, I don't know about this, but altogether it looks really pretty. What is the plan? You might be asking yourself, how am I going to catch up on this ridiculousness? Well, I think next time that Nona has baby carrot, I am just going to completely knock out April all in one day, because I can and I just should, and I also need to sew in all the ends for March. And then after that, I'm really lucky that baby carrot has now, so she's just over 4 months old, and she goes to bed and at 7 o'clock, and she pretty much stays in bed. Not all night, but a good portion of the night. So I have a few hours where I have gotten some crochet time back, which is really nice, and I can now focus on that a little bit more. Not that it's a job. I like to crochet. I don't feel like pressured to do so. And I have some other projects I had to do, and I quotation marks, because we do these things to ourselves, don't we? I got invited to my cousin's bridal shower, which was really, really nice. And I automatically felt like, well, I have to make something for her and her fiance. And so I did. I made a nice throw, but it was really quick. I picked a bulky yarn to use and knocked that out. But yeah, I think that I can bang out April in one day, get all the ends sewn in, and then at night when baby carrot has gone to sleep, as long as if I can get just the one row done a day, I'm fine being a couple of weeks behind. Now, if I can do a couple rows a night, then I can get caught up slowly but surely, and then I can still work on some other things, because these squares aren't that big. It doesn't take a ton of time. Even when they get to the 17 inches, it doesn't take a lot of time to go around that thing. That's my plan. Are you making a temperature blanket for 2024? Have you ever tried to make a temperature blanket? Did you know what a temperature blanket was before this video? You probably did. Let me know, because it used to be just that the temperature blanket thing was just line by line, and people have gotten so creative now with that concept instead of the line by line thing, which is also really pretty if that's what you're doing. But I'm always curious to see what people come up with. I've seen some corner to corner. I've seen people do granny squares. Well, they'll take the low temperature for the day as the center and then do the high temperature for the outside, and that's really cool looking too. But that's so many squares to join for every day. Let me know what you're making for dinner tonight, and let me know what your favorite song is today. Tonight for dinner, I think we are making a chicken ziti broccoli. And you should know, I guess this is a cliche thing, but I am vegan. But still, please let me know whatever you're making for dinner, because I take inspiration from everywhere. Just know, if I ever say that I'm making chicken ziti broccoli, I'm not really making chicken ziti broccoli. I just don't want to later say something about being vegan or whatever, and then people being like, I thought you said you were having chicken ziti broccoli. When I say chicken, I mean a chicken like substitute, chicken ziti broccoli. So that's what we're making. I hope you have a great day. See you next time. Bye.